friends, it's Deanna here today, and we are going to be sewing the valedictorian dress today. And it's super cute and it's super simple, and I love the detail of the color. You can do pockets, you can do long sleeve, you can do short sleeve, you can do bands, so it's super cool. And anyway, before I get started though, let me remind you about our Fun Fan giveaway, a $50 Ellie and Matt gift certificate. And all you have to do is subscribe to our channel. So if you haven't, pause the video right now, go subscribe and comment under this video, and you'll be entered for our giveaway. So it's a monthly giveaway, so go ahead and do it right now so you can be entered for that. So let's get started. I already cut out all my pattern pieces, and I'm doing the valedictorian from Ellie and Mac. If you need the link for that pattern, it's below in the what is it called, where it has the information, all the information. It's below in the information area. I don't remember what it's called, but anyway, it is down there, so go find it, get the pattern, and then you can sew it along with me. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna work on these pockets. Now I am not going to put the pocket on because I'm making a size 12 and she doesn't need pockets, but if I'm gonna show you how to do them. Here's my 2 pocket pieces, so you'll have 4 if you're making 2 pockets. If you're making 1 pocket, you only have 2. So I have 2 for the 1 pocket, and they're right sides together on top of each other, so I just put them right side on top of each other together, just like so. Now I'm gonna go ahead and sew all the way around it, except for I'm gonna leave a little gap to flip it around. So you can use your serger, you can use your sewing machine, however you wanna do it. I'm just gonna go ahead and serge and just leave that little gap. I know that the serger sometimes gives it more bulk, so you might just want to do the sewing machine. But my sewing machine is known for trying to eat my knits, so I'm always hesitant to do it with my sewing machine. Alright, so it's sewn. I'm going to clip all these because I'm going to, what do you call it? Top stitch it. I know I should probably throw the garbage away in the garbage bin, not around my floor. I'm going to top stitch it, so I think it'll be fine to just clip those corners for me. So now I'm going to go use that little hole that I left behind and flip my pocket over. Y'all, I'm wearing the Tress Belle dress. I love this pattern. I know y'all ask me about what I'm wearing sometimes, so yes, it is the Tress Belle. Beautiful pattern. So I'm flipping this over, and I'm going to use whatever I have. Right now all I can find is a pen, and tap at the corners so they can be nice and straight as I'm turning it around. Flipping it over. Okay, so now that I tapped at the corners, it's pretty straight, as you can see, my little corners, but we still have that little gap that we left. So when we top stitch the pocket, which is our next step, we're gonna close up that pocket. So you want to make sure and tuck in those sides in there so they're nice and tucked in. So now we're gonna go ahead and do on the sides and the bottom, we're gonna do a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and on the pocket in the top, we're gonna do a 1/2 inch. Okay, and I know that sometimes we have a hard time on our sewing machine with knits, so what I do is I grab a pin and I put it right at the top when you're gonna begin sewing, like that, and then it helps me pull my fabric up as I'm sewing it on my sewing machine, because sometimes my sewing machine is not the kindest when it comes to knits. So when I get over here, I do the same thing. I just fit it in there, and then it helps me to pull it. Put my needle down, turn once again. When I get up here, it's going to be 1/2 inch allowance on my top of my pocket. trim all the little fuzzies off. And throw them on the ground. The other day, now I'm gonna steam it, and to help it not be so wavy. The other day, I was cleaning my vacuum. I became the vacuum cleaner. Ha ha ha! Have you seen that? Because my vacuum, I don't know if your vacuum is the same way. See, pocket seams done. But my vacuum usually ends up full of threads and all kinds of little pieces get stuck on the bristles. So then every once in a while I have to go in and cut them out. Poor little vacuum. Alright, isn't this going to be so cute? Look, it's tiny and it's so cute. Okay, we're going to grab our pattern piece and we're going to put it right on top. What you can do is, since I'm not doing the pockets, I didn't do it, but usually I would cut out that pocket hole right there, because that's where your pocket's gonna go. So that's giving you a marker on your pattern, and so I would mark my fabric. So let me just move it and pretend it's right there, and then I would do the same thing for the other side. If you had already cut out the hole, then you would have the space right there, so you would be able to mark the fabric. So we're just gonna pretend it's right there. So I got my two pockets on. So then we're gonna go ahead and pin the pockets on. I'm only gonna show you with one. And then we're gonna do a top stitch all the way around at 1/8 of an inch. So we're gonna go all the way around at 1/8. Only, I say all the way around, I don't mean all the way around. I mean all the way around the sides and the bottom. So we go down, over, up. Don't sew the top, because that's where your little one's gonna stick their toys and their precious whatever they want on there. So don't sew the top. You're just gonna sew down, over, up, and leave the top open. And it's 1/8 of an inch allowance for that. So I'm gonna move on since I'm not doing pockets. But if you are doing pockets, that's what you have to do with pockets. So now that since we're not doing pockets, we're gonna move on to put our dress together. I have my dress face up. This is one of my sides. I think this is my front. I'm gonna grab my back and put it right sides together, right on top of the dress, meeting at the shoulder seams. The little shoulder seams, so cute. So we're meeting at the shoulder seams. And then we're gonna sew those shoulder seams together. I'm using my serger once again. If you wanna use a stretch stitch on your sewing machine, that's fine. I would just make sure that you test out what stretch stitch you wanna use on your fabric, whatever fabric it is that you're using. Yeah. So y'all, yesterday my husband went outside to take out the garbage, and there was an armadillo in our yard digging out our front yard. So funny. And so he came out, and the armadillo like ran away crazy, and he ran right into the neighbor's tree. So funny. Well, not funny, but kind of sort of funny. Okay, so now we got our shoulders. Now that we got our shoulders, we're gonna go ahead and work on our collar. So let's put this over here real quick. I'm gonna grab my collar, and you have an outer and a liner. Mine are both the same. My outer and my liner look the same. So I'm gonna grab my outer, and this is my back piece of my collar. So it's like that rainbow shape U. And then I've got my other two little pieces of my front collar. So I'm gonna put them right sides together on top of the back of the collar, and we're gonna meet that raw edge. Meet the raw edge, the short raw edge. So you see those two raw edges right there? We're gonna meet those raw edges, and we're gonna sew them together. Sew them together. Do you live out in the woods? Do you live in the city? Do you have critters come to your house often? Have you never seen a critter come anywhere near your house? Tell me all about it. So where we live is a neighborhood, and we used to
when we first moved in, there were no houses down the street from us. So we used to see like deer and all kinds of nature. But now they've built a lot of houses in that area. So like our neighborhood is always under construction. And so we don't see them as much. But we do have the woods behind our house. I still don't see very much back there. Okay, so now I opened it up and I steamed the side seams. And I did the same thing already to my liner. See, same thing, it's already attached together. So now I'm going to put it right on top, liner and outer, right on top of each other. Matching at the seams. And matching those raw edges. Because we're going to sew around the outer edge. So they're right sides together. And now I'm pinning, and you're going to sew around the outer edge. Outer edge. Outer edge, outer edge. Sewing around the outer edge. Okay, we're going to sew around that outside part of the color all the way around. Here we go. Together. I'm going to show you what I did. Alright, so look, see? You can see it because I did it with a dark sewing thread, which is probably going to bite my butt when I turn this around, and I can see the thread. I hope I can't. I'm cutting this short. Only reason why is because they're going to be serged onto the dress, so I don't need those tails. If they don't get serged in, I usually always sew in my tails. You don't want to just cut them off because you don't want it to unravel later. Now I'm just turning it right side out. Flipping that color right side out. Every once in a while I'm like in a singing, humming mood. Oh my word, yesterday, okay, don't tell my husband I told you. We went to, well, our school has a play every year, and it's awesome. And so our kids were having their play, and my husband was at work, so he was coming from work, so he came home and changed real quick. And so I'm talking on the phone with him, telling him, I saved seats, come on. And all of a sudden, I hear like this commotion and scream. And he's like, I gotta go. I'm like, what in the world? Well, he calls me back, okay, right side out. I'm going to go ahead and steam this really nicely. He calls me back, and he says, he's like, I was getting ready, and I was walking around in my socks. He slipped and fell with coffee in hand, already dressed. Coffee goes everywhere. He falls backwards, and I am dying laughing. And literally, like the whole play, I'm sitting there watching the play, and every once in a while, I'd have a vision of my husband and his coffee going flying everywhere in the air, and I would just laugh. And it was so hard because I'm trying to keep composure. I'm sitting on one of the front row, so obviously I don't want the kids to see me laughing and think I'm laughing at them. It was hilarious. It was so funny. I made fun of him for that for the rest of the night. So funny. Isn't it funny when your husband does something silly and you just make fun of them? Yeah, it's so funny. Okay, I'm gonna grab my color. No, okay, maybe it was not so funny. He could have gotten hurt, but he's fine. He's fine, so that's why it's funny. Okay, so we're gonna grab our color, and we're gonna put our dress wrong face up, and we're going to attach our color right sides to the wrong side of the dress. So the right side of my color is going to attach to the wrong side of my dress, because then once we sew it on, we're going to flip it out. So let's match up our seams, our side seams right here, and match up all around the raw edge of the color with the raw edge of your dress. And then again here comes the color, and you want to overlap those two color little thingies, the front, overlap it. Let me see, I wrote it down because I didn't want to forget. You overlap it 3/8 of an inch. Now, this is an extra step. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. It's up to you. You can go ahead and baste stitch that on if you want, that overlap right there. Sometimes I will do that because, ow! I literally just went through my nail, like my pin. I was trying to pin and I didn't realize my nails was there, and it went through my nail. I'm like, why is this so hard? I pierced my nail, you all. I pierced my nail. It didn't hurt because it didn't go through my finger. It just went through my nail. Crazy. Oh my word, I'm having a hard time putting these on top of each other. There we go. Which tells me that I probably should, what do you call that thing? Baste. And maybe I will. I'm just gonna baste real quick right there because I'm so bad when it comes to overlaps. So basting stitch is just a long straight stitch on your sewing machine. Oh no, I'm not basting all the way over there. My needle went down at the wrong place. All right, basting right here. And it's not even like I'm doing much of anything. It's just like a couple stitches right there where I overlapped it. You see how I overlapped it right there? And I put a couple stitches right there so this doesn't come open when I'm trying to sew it on. So now I'm gonna start sewing it on. I'm gonna go from the back all the way around to the front. Making sure I catch all 3 layers of my fabric, but don't catch the dress, so move the dress out of the way. Oh, I almost threw my pin away in the garbage. All right, here I come to the front, and I'm so glad I basted. Because I feel I would have regretted it if I didn't. Almost done with this color. All right, so now that that's done, we're gonna turn our dress around, face front. Actually remove the pins first so the color will come around, and then you're gonna pull that color out. I'm gonna remove that basting stitch now. And now you're gonna flip your color out and you're gonna steam it down. Steam it down. This basting stitch does not wanna come off because I got it under the serger. Okay, steam it down. Actually, let me open it up. Might be easier to steam down when it's open like this. Yeah. How cute is this little color? So my color is on. How cute is this? Already looks insanely cute. I'm so in love. Later on, if you want to go ahead and do it now, you can. We're gonna go ahead and baste the shoulders on right here. You're gonna baste them so the color doesn't lift up every time that they're wearing it. So you're gonna sew a straight stitch right here on top, but we can do that later. So let's move on to our sleeves. I'm opening my side right here where my shoulder seam is, right here, my arm side. I'm grabbing my sleeve. I'm going to go ahead and notch it at the top, mark where the top is. That way, I'm gonna put that mark, that top seam, right at my shoulder seam. One of the reasons why they don't baste it right now, the color, is so that you can move the color out of the way when you're sewing it, so it doesn't get sewn on to the sleeve, if that makes sense. So you can kind of lift it up. So, but it's up to you. If you think you have enough room and you want to go ahead and sew those side seams now, shoulder seams now, you can go ahead and do that. So we're opening and going down to one side of the sleeve, and now we're gonna go over to the other side of the sleeve all the way down, like so. I'm gonna show you. So I attached it first to the middle, and then I went down one side, and then I went down the other side. So now my sleeve is basted on, and then we're gonna sew it around the whole thing. Gonna sew that shoulder seam. Raw edges, right sides together. Make sure you don't get the color caught underneath there when you're sewing the sleeve on. So there's my shoulder seam. I'm gonna go ahead and steam it, and I always want to steam it the right way. So like whatever way it's going, the whole thing, I want the whole thing to go the right way, the same way. And make sure you didn't leave any notches out, you didn't leave any of your sleeve out. So I'm gonna do the same for the other sleeve, but then after I sew on the other sleeve, we're gonna move on to do our sides. Okay, so we sew our sleeve. Now we're gonna fold it right sides together. Right sides together. Here's my sleeve. Here's the side of my dress. I'm gonna match up the sleeve armpit seam, that seam that I made right now with the armpit. Pin right there. And pin down the sleeve. And down the side of our dress. All the way down. Okay, so it's up and around. So now I'm gonna go ahead and sew around that edge, and now I'm gonna go on and do the other sleeve and the other side, and then we'll come back to finish up. So I'm gonna go ahead and sew around that edge so we can sew it together. Alright, so I have sewn my sides of my sleeves, and I did the other one as well. So now we're gonna move on to band our sleeves if you're banding them. If you're hemming them, you can go ahead and hem them. But I'm going to show you how to band. And the thing is with this one, because it's kind of like a poofier sleeve, the band's a little bit shorter, a lot shorter than the sleeve. So you're going to have to pull the sleeve tight. So we're going to grab our band. We're going to fold the wrong sides together first to give it a memory crease. So we're going to steam that memory crease on. And then I'm going to unfold, fold right sides together, add that short edge, and I'm going to sew that short edge together to make it one continuous band. So now that it's one whole band, I'm going to open it and flip it wrong sides together again, where that memory crease we just made makes it a lot easier to fold. So there it is, my little band. We're going to go ahead and pin over here where my 1/2 is, my seam is, and we're going to fold it and go out to the one side, and that will be my half of my sleeve. Now if you just want to half it, you just mark that half, but if you want to quarter it to go the extra mile, you can do that. That means you're going to face the two pins, the front and the back, and we're going to go to the one side, it's 1/4, and then we're going to go to the other side, that's the other quarter. You do not have to do this. All you have to do is if you want to just stretch and make sure it's even, because it's a short little sleeve. But if you want to just make sure it really is correctly right on, you can do it. So now I've got my seam over here on my sleeve, and I'm going to go out to the front, and that's my 1/2. Then I can meet the front and the back, and we're going to go out to the sides, and those are my quarters. And the reason why I say that is because like if you put them together, look, the sleeve is like the armband is like half the width of the sleeve, so you're gonna have to pull tight, stretch tight. So I'm gonna open my sleeve, and I'm gonna my band, and I'm gonna shove it inside my sleeve, matching the raw edges together, right sides together. So I'm gonna meet at all those quarter points I just made. And I made the quarter points, like I said, is so that I can stretch it out and know where I'm going every time, because I'm gonna have to stretch the band out a little bit. And it kind of gives it, when you stretch it out a lot, kind of gives it like a bloused look to the shoulder seam, to the sleeves. Like I said, you do not have to quarter. This was probably extensive, but I just wanted to show you that you can if you feel like you need to. On my other one, I just did my sides, my halves, and then I stretched. Okay, so now that it's divided into quarters, I'm gonna start at my seam. I always sew with my band facing up, because it's a short band too. So I'm gonna start it a little bit, and then I'm gonna go to that first quarter and pull my sleeve. Make sure that my sleeve and my band are matching. Okay, now I'm gonna go to the next quarter. Hold on, one of my pins got caught underneath there. There we go. I'm gonna go to my next quarter and pull. Where is my quarter? There it is. My pin that was in my next quarter fell off, but because I notched, that's okay, I see it. Okay, my next quarter, and we're almost there. And then my last piece. Okay, always make sure that you cut everything, and actually I left a little piece that I didn't catch, so I'm gonna go back over it. That's why you always have to look before you move on. Sometimes we make mistakes, and that is okay with me as long as I fixed it. Okay, then we're gonna fold it down and steam. And you'll see how cute this gives it, like a bloused look. Super cute. So you see how like the sleeve kind of looks like it's like, you know, kind of poofy and bloused and cute. And that's it. All we gotta do now is we're gonna go over and fold this down really nicely, and we're gonna sew a top stitch. So just a straight stitch right on those side seams on top of your shoulders for your, so that your collar stays tacked down. So now I'm gonna do the same on the other side. And now all we have to do is clip all those threads and hem the bottom, and we're all done. Our bottom, we're gonna hem at a 1/2 inch allowance. And I'm not gonna, you know, go ahead and hem the whole thing to show you, because just for sake of time. But you just fold up 1/2 inch. Because it's a knit fabric, you do not have to do double fold. Just one fold, a 1/2 inch, and that's all you need. And then you go ahead and hem it, and that's it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please let me know if you have any questions about anything that I did, anything that you couldn't see very well. I can help you out. Just let me know. Also, if you're not part of our Facebook or Instagram page, come join us. We'd love to have you, and we'd love to see what you're creating. Give us a shout out. Let everybody else know about our YouTube videos. Comment, like, share, so they can be part of our sew along group. We'd love to have them. Please come check us out on Instagram and Facebook. I think I already said that. I'm just saying it over and over again. I think I'm just repeating myself now. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye. How cute.